Hi, Ed Kim, Traders Network Show. We're back here at the Converge to Accelerate conference. We're very pleased to have with us right now Frank Ricotta, founder and CEO of BurstIQ. Frank, hello.
Hello, Ed. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for joining us. BurstIQ is arguably the most successful enterprise-scale blockchain platform to exist in the entire healthcare sector. BurstIQ is a global data network that connects solutions to each other, as well as the people they serve. BurstIQ enables health applications and services to incorporate complex data ownership, consent, and monetization at scale. Frank, congratulations on all the success. I know you've done it on a relatively shoestring budget up to now, but I understand that you did recently close your first institutional round.
That's a pretty big milestone from the standpoint of crossing over from the blockchain space into traditional investor and institutional space.
Yeah, very few companies have been able to do that at all. And how long will the money you raised take you?
Well, I think on the short end it's 18 months, and it's probably more like a 2-year runway for us. And it depends on really the acceleration of growth over the next 12 months.
Okay.
The faster we go, the more we'll be able to invest in the market.
Okay. Well, tell us about the past year. You and I have been talking for a couple of years, and you were already at a level of progress that really nobody else had made in the sector 2 years ago. But your past 2 years have been extraordinary. Tell us about that progress.
Sure. When we were talking, it was really towards the tail end of the hype cycle around all the token offerings, and
right.
And we actually looked at doing a token raise and didn't think the market was really mature enough to support that on a broader base, particularly in the health space, because normally you get folks that understand blockchain, they're really more cryptocurrency centric, and those that understand health tend to be open to blockchain but a little hesitant. So we kind of retrenched a little bit and went back and really started just selling to customers and helping them do things they couldn't do without some of the features of the technology. And started doing that in late 2017, able to kind of cross over to profitability in 18 and really seen some really good solid growth both on the enterprise customer side as well as a really solid basis with our development community.
Now, you've developed some partnerships with some extraordinary entities, both at the government and organizational level. Talk about that.
Well, it was, we set out with the strategy to really kind of enter the market through partnerships. And I think that was our view, the only way to really deliver a validated solution. So we started with large enterprises and large health systems, and particularly our cornerstone partner is Empiric Health, and Empiric Health is a company that was spun out of Intermountain Healthcare. So it was a great partnership to really launch the product. But we also really pushed this whole public-private partnership side of life because you're dealing with health, and governments really have a vested interest in regulating health and healthcare delivery. So we created some public-private partnerships at the state and local level, particularly starting in the state of Colorado with the health information exchanges. Have developed a national public-private partnership with the Department of Commerce on facilitating awareness and economic growth for U.S.-based blockchain companies, particularly enterprise-based blockchain companies, and also have a couple international public-private partnerships, UN Global Compact. Really fans of that mission. Have also teamed with the OECD on regulatory and policy issues internationally, both healthcare and fintech, and support some humanitarian efforts, Humanity 2.0, in conjunction with a private organization in the Vatican.
That's terrific. Now, are you seeing, you mentioned the OECD, and we've spoken to a few other folks here about their efforts in Europe. Yep. It does seem like companies are having some more success in Europe, breaking ground than they are in the United States. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think the regulatory bodies in Europe were initially resistant to the whole blockchain cryptocurrency space,
right.
But I think they got on board a little quicker, particularly with some of the outlying jurisdictions like Bermuda as an example, that were able to pioneer some really innovative regulatory and governance legislation. But the main bodies, particularly the financial regulatory bodies, have really begun to embrace it for a lot of different reasons. You know, some for increasing liquidity of some of the currencies, as well as the whole anti-money laundering approach. They see it as a very valuable method.
Right. Let's talk about data privacy. Obviously, a very big issue recently, going back to even earlier this spring when Facebook got slapped for exposing user health data. How do you allay or address the concerns that, at a consumer level, that people may have about how their data is being used?
Well, that's a great question, and really one of the foundational problems in ushering the next generation of health and overall health access, because data is kind of key in that liquidity of data. But you want a person to own and control it, and that was our foundational premise. We actually started the company with a premise around privacy and data privacy. Myself and my co-founder really got tired of our data being stolen, and when I received the notice from the U.S. government that all my background security clearances from a previous life were compromised, we decided we wanted to do something about it. And at the end of the day, there's no more valuable data on the planet than health data. And so we started again with that premise that even a small individual data element is important for the owner of the data to know how it's used, and it's built foundationally in the platform.
And do you think that's why blockchain seems to have gotten more traction in healthcare than in any other large industry? Is it because of the foundational element of the data?
For data, yeah. And data sharing. You know, privacy is a key part. And we've seen GDPR on the consumer side in Europe, and we've seen even tougher legislation emerging. California and other states are really pushing that forward. I think we'll see a national legislation around that soon, but we've always had it with HIPAA here in the U.S.
Right.
And through other jurisdictions, we've always had some regulatory oversight on personal health data. But what we're seeing is really a push from the research side of life and you're starting to see some really great strides on the research based on data. And then this whole wave of data coming at us from precision and personalized medicine, all the omics, genome testing, phenome, and even cellular and biomarkers.
Right. Okay, so now that you've got this bit of a war chest, institutional war chest in you, looking out over the next 2 years, what do you hope to accomplish? Where do you hope to be in the next 2 years?
I think there are really three things. At a big level, we want to be viewed as the most trusted platform to house and manage your privacy data, and that not only is health data, but maybe extension to some of the ID, electronic ID attestations that really make up who you are. But second, we want to see broad scale adoption on an enterprise level with our partners and really penetrate more all the verticals within health, not just the healthcare delivery side, but biotech and pharma, clinical research. And finally, the third thing, this is our big swing, we want to really turn on the inter-exchange network, the ability for different enterprise applications to really share, and for a person's overall health profile to transcend applications in time.
Terrific. We've been talking to Frank Ricotta, CEO of BurstIQ. Frank, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, it's a pleasure to catch up with you again, and thanks for everything.
The 2019 Converge to Accelerate conference is brought to you by IEEE, the world's largest technical professional organization for the advancement of technology. Boehringer Ingelheim, passionately working to improve healthcare. NASCO, advancing digital health together. IPSI US, the Association of Independent Workers, for one, for all. Partners in Digital Health, publishers of the forward-reaching blockchain in Healthcare Today and Telehealth and Medicine Today. Special consideration to iWorker Innovations, taking the independent workforce to new heights. Connected Health Conference, designing for healthy habits and better outcomes. Haven Health Solutions, providing true blockchain transactional interoperability. Special thanks to Seaport World Trade Center for hosting us. And a special thanks to 1-800 Public Relations for all your PR and media support. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go away.